Well, where are the hecklers at now? Nah, I'm just kidding. What's up, guys? Um, I'm going to go over SMCI here in a little bit. If you wouldn't mind hitting the like button and the subscribe, I'd greatly appreciate it. Also, you know the deal. I run a Discord, and I post in here throughout the whole trading day and give my entries, exits, and my thoughts on the day. I actually exited my puts on this trade today. I tried to get a little fancy with it. Made 52%. I think that's in this Discord as well. Yeah, right there. So exited that for 52% and try to get a little Q with it. But ultimately, I think there's a lot more downside here. We got an RSI that's still at 92, and this is forming a reversal candle. So you have this large upper wick, very far from the 8-period moving average, and then 20. And you can see down here when we got pretty hot too on the monthly. I was at a 91 RSI. We pulled back 36%, I think it was. Yeah, 37 over a couple months. So that would pull us all the way back down to right around here. Then when we go into the weekly chart, yesterday I was saying about us tightening up. Like you have this mother bar here, then another inside bar, so you're getting tighter and tighter. And we broke out of that bearish today, and we start to fill this gap, and this is the remaining portion of that. We still have the 8 exponential that we haven't even touched, and the 20s all the way down here. Still overbought. We are going to have bounces along the way during this consolidation, so it's not going to just go straight down. I expect it to go pretty swift, though, in its first move, and then get a nice bounce out of that, and then reshort that high. When I exited my puts today, I was trying to let it bounce on the hourly chart, which I'll get to in a second, and then re-enter my shorts cheaper. So now to go down to the daily chart, what I was basically saying in the Discord is right here. I said with that break, 1025 was the key level. That was our daily uptrend. You can see we pushed up, came down, formed a higher low, lower high. We were trying to tighten up, but we just flushed it. So now we're in a daily downtrend. That's confirmed. You can see we have a slight uptick in volume. Nothing crazy. It's not like over here. It's actually decreasing from yesterday. So what are we looking at from now? So we closed right above the 20-period moving average. I still think we could try to trade up a little bit and then it's a reshort. We're in a daily downtrend. We had the bearish divergence I was talking about. We're filling this gap right here, which I'll redraw right now. So we still have this daily gap below right here. That's a weekly gap as well. And we have this gap. So that's what I was saying as far as if we get a 37% correction, similar to last time, that fills this gap. And it would make sense for us to fill this. Would come back towards the 50-period moving average. I mean, it's hard to say what's going to really happen now. We're looking for bounces, all bounces to be shortable on larger term time frames. So 1 hour, 4 hour, eventually a daily bounce will get going and we'll short that. But this could bleed for a while too. So your instrument you use should be mindful of that because usually the first move is pretty swift and then they could bleed it. And if you're using options, there goes your time decay, volatility. So yeah, you want to short shares or maybe long dated contracts. I know I'm still going to play this with options, but just not too much right now. What I'm thinking is I want to reshort in the same puts I was in, the 900s. So what I was trying to do today, basically, right? So usually an hourly oversold bounce from an all-time high is a good bounce. The difference I was saying with that picture I just showed in Discord was I said there's 2 weeks of price action up here. Usually these kind of trades that I'm playing, right, they're a run up, you get the blow off top, fierce pullback down, come up, reshort that high, and we can either break or just tighten up from there, basically, not make a new low. But with this one, it's a little different because we've had all this price action now. So it's not just like, you know what I mean, like 1 day's worth of price action up there. You're talking about 2 weeks. So there's a lot of people that are up here that bought that are now underwater. So any kind of pop, you're more apt to get selling. I should have thought about that myself before I exited because I did exit towards the lows, not the exact. It's very hard to pick the bottom, but I was anticipating for us to get a decent pop like we usually do. Like this is our leg down, right? Come up here and then reshort this zone and then, fill that. So I was trying to get cheaper price. And I ultimately would have. Like I was close to nailing the bottom. Let me see if I can pinpoint where I got out at. I think it was this candle right here. Let me just look over and see the timestamp. Got out 11:54. So right around here. Didn't really nail the bottom because we made another low, but pretty damn close. And I was hoping to get a decent bounce out of this. Like I said, it was hourly oversold. You had some minor bull divergence. So I was thinking we'd pop up here and maybe reshort towards this zone or something, but we didn't get that kind of bounce. Like I said, there's a lot of buyers that are now trapped. So this thing's long-term consolidation from here on out. And we're down in after hours right now too. So we're at 962. So pretty much at the lows. And we're definitely filling this gap. There's no way we're not. I've been saying that though. It's a weekly gap. You don't really get those, especially with a weekly RSI at 93 or 94. That's going to fill. It's just when, you know what I mean? So I tried to play that accordingly, and it worked out as a pretty solid trade. I didn't get to make my second entry. I wanted it to make a new high and for us to start to sell with some volume for me to have confidence because I wanted to go pretty heavy on this. So I just held my position. I actually had a short on it right around here on this little pop up. I just flipped it, and that ended up being a really good short. That was for weeklies, but I made a slight gain on that. I think I went 2 for 4 on the day overall. I tried to play a couple bull trades too, but this is the big win for me because I had size on this, and I wish I would have had more size, but I was trying to, mitigate risk by not going too heavy, considering this event, FOMC, and we're at all-time highs. You know what I mean? So even though I'm bearish, I have to make sure that I'm able to maneuver around this position. The contracts aren't cheap. So what am I looking for going forward? Like I said, basically we're going to fill that gap. I don't know from there how this is going to play out. Obviously, my drawings all got erased. So I think I had this right here as my buying area, 78 or something. I know I posted in Discord, but I'm thinking like you can see you got a touch there. You have some price history here. Came down trading within this area, so it's going to be somewhere in this zone. I mean, obviously you traded here for 4 days, but I'm saying like if we would have flushed down here and we're hourly oversold, we would have got a juicy bounce. That's what I was kind of hoping for, to be honest. But it didn't seem like it wanted to give it. We had this conference, and yeah. So what I'm kind of thinking is the next lower high is a short. I believe on the 4-hour chart, like right now, ideally you would want to see this push up a little bit and then reshort that. But like I said, we're down at 62. So this looks like it just wants to melt down. There's a ton of people trapped up here. This could easily just keep going down for a little while. And we would have to look for 4-hour oversold conditions because we already hit 1-hour oversold, and that's the bounce we got. We got a little bear flag. Whether or not we get follow through tomorrow remains to be seen. So we'll see what happens. If this does bear flag down, depending on how it forms, I might not play that downside. I will look for the bounce next. Like I said, this area right around here, I think it was 882. I'm going to look for a bounce in here. I don't know how I'm going to play it though. If we just go straight down into there, you know what I mean? Like we can't sit up here and mess around and then go down and expect it. Like, yeah, it's going to have some support, but ideally what you want quick moves. So this is an impulsive move. Got a little bit of a bounce. Ideally, we try to push up a little bit more on that 4-hour chart. Like I said, we would hit the 20-period moving average on the hourly. You hit the 8 on the 4-hour, and then we reject from there, fill this gap, and then we come back down here and play off this for a bounce. I think it's going to be right around here. Like this is where I'd probably start scaling into one, like grab an initial position and then, maybe right around this area, grab another portion and just start getting ready for the bounce. Like I said, I don't know how I'm gonna play this. It's a fast-moving stock. I know it's not very liquid either, so I'm not a fan of it. I might just play shares on this. So I'm not going to get as much of a reward, but I'll mitigate some risk with this. So that's kind of what I'm thinking right now. We'll see how it opens into tomorrow, but for now, the top's definitely in. There's no way you can tell me otherwise. Daily downtrend confirmed, like I said. We're in a downtrend on 1 hour, 4 hour daily, not the weekly. We're looking for a higher low, so we could come down, fill this gap, hit that weekly 8, which is also around there. You know what I mean? So that's going to be some support. There's the support, so we should get a bounce maybe and come back down and fill this. It's going to be an overtime process of consolidation. So it's not just going to go straight down. I mean, not that it couldn't. Obviously, anything can happen, but I think it's highly unlikely. There's going to be bounces along the way, people that want to play the bounces. I know that's one of my favorite trades. And yeah, that's why I was kind of hoping we would have got a lower high with that hourly oversold condition. I actually walked away from the computer for a while. I had a really good day, so I wasn't messing that up. I know I felt a little excited, and I know you can make some piss poor decisions during that time. So chose to just walk away from the computer, think about things for a little bit, and that's when I started thinking. I was like, oh yeah, probably not gonna get a good bounce out of this thing, considering it had 2 weeks of price action above it. It's not the normal thing, so I realized that a little late. It is what it is. It's always another trade. There's more of this to even trade around. There's a lot of volatility right now, so can definitely make some money here. We'll just have to see how it opens up tomorrow and figure out the game plan as far as that. Like I said, I wish it would bounce, give a lower high on a 4 hour chart. That'd be beautiful. Come up here, hit this weekly 8, just somewhere up around here, and give me that re-entry into the shorts. But we'll have to see what happens into tomorrow in the pre-market, and I'll formulate a game plan. I'll let everyone know in the Discord what I'm kind of thinking anyways. And like I mentioned, the link's in the description below. It's free. Take advantage of it while you can. It's not always going to be free. My thoughts are it's going to be free for the rest of this year. I have things that I want to do. I quit my job last year to do this full time. I've been trading for 7 years, and one of the things I like to do is hunt. So I'm going to be out in the woods for 3 months, and I still trade when I'm in the woods, but I'm not going to be able to scalp and keep up to date as fast. So for right now, it's free for the rest of the year. If you want to check it out, see what I do, learn, ask me questions, whatever you want to do, take advantage of it. But until next time, I wish you the best in markets.